Today's show is sponsored by The Truth About How to Save Money and Time, Amazingly Simple Business Success Tips. That is a book that will be coming soon that has been authored by Lisa DeShoram and Brenda Warren. These two dynamic ladies, one of which is me, co-authored this book, The Truth About How to Save Money and Time, Amazingly Simple Business Tips. Amazing Simple Business Success Tips. And we're excited today to have them be the sponsor of this show, Talk to Me. I'm excited to have some amazing ladies that I get to collaborate. And today's show is all about collaboration. So let's get the show started. Today I have with me Robyn, and I'm going to be adding to the stream Miss Julie Wall. I am so excited to have these two major collaborators with me. Both of these ladies are women that know how to co-create, know how to collaborate, and we're going to give each of them the opportunity to tell you what it is they do. But because I forgot to do it, hi, I'm Brenda Warren, the Solutionist. Welcome to my show, Talk to Me. This is where I help people turn their mess or their mission into a message. And sometimes I make a mess, but no matter what happens when it's live, you just keep it going no matter what. Ladies, welcome to the show. I'm so excited both of you could join me. And let me tell you how awesome both of these ladies are. Today, my intended live guest had to cancel due to a family emergency. And then I put out the word, hey, ladies, my guest canceled. Is anybody ready to show up? We're going to be talking about collaboration. And two of my favorite collaborators raised their hand and said, let's do this. So they are here to help me have an awesome live show. So I'd like to welcome Robyn and Julie to the show. Robyn, we're going to start with you. Could you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Well, thank you for having me on your show today. My name is Robyn Haynes. I am the owner and operator of All Aspects Tax Services, and I've been a certified tax preparer for over 10 years. So I hope I can help everybody get their taxes in the right place, do some tax planning, and get small businesses, mid-sized businesses on the right track. But thank you for having me.
Thank you for showing up, Robyn. I really appreciate it. And Miss Julie Wall, one of my favorite people on the planet, a former employee that worked with me at Wayne Memorial Hospital. And I say employee because she was an employee at Wayne Memorial Hospital, not my employee. But let me tell you, this lady was instrumental in me keeping my sanity, making sure I could even get to a place where I could write a book, because she'll be the first and maybe the last to tell you I couldn't put a sentence together when she first met me. But Julie encouraged my love of writing, which I had a love for writing, but I did not have the use or proper usage of grammar. And Julie was instrumental in making sure I knew how to put two words together and make a complete sentence. Julie, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brenda. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. My name's Julie Wall. I'm a retired healthcare worker. I met Brenda through work. She was, in fact, my first boss when I went to the hospital. I took an early retirement after the whole COVID thing broke. The scope of my job had changed, and it was just way too physical for somebody my age. So I went ahead, took the early retirement in September of 2020, and decided it was time to learn how to be self-sufficient and not depend on stores and everybody else for what we needed. So my husband and I got our heads together, and we decided to homestead here in the burbs. So I've been learning how to do raised beds, raise chickens, cook with a lot of eggs. I've learned how to can. I've crocheted things for myself, my family. I don't even buy Christmas gifts anymore. I just hook them, you know. I just recently started a YouTube channel called Suburban Homesteading with Jules. And so my purpose in life now is to move forward and share with everybody else who maybe wants to get a little further off the grid, you know, no matter where you are, to just be able to provide for yourself, plant your own vegetables, grow your own food, you know, preserve it by canning, you know. So that's kind of my focus right now.
Well, Julie, I'm glad that you came. And Robyn, also, the way Robyn and I connect is because we are collaborators on an amazing book project called Daddy-Daughter Dynamic, where 13 women got together to express their journeys through healing, forgiveness, self-awareness, and self-love. And so I'm excited to have both of you here so that we can talk about what each of you are doing as collaborators and what projects you're doing individually and what projects you're doing collaboratively with other people. So I'm going to step back here right now and ask, how has collaborating with others helped you do what it is you're currently doing now? And I'm gonna start with Julie this time, because Julie, I know like this morning we got together on and discussed different things in reference to your upcoming YouTube channel, in reference to you writing your own book and putting your stuff together. How do you see collaboration as being successful for what you do?
I feel that collaboration is very important as we're striking out on new journeys. Um, I didn't know a thing about formatting a book until Brenda and I got together, and I helped edit and format and get ready for publishing her first book. And she's always told me, I've known her 21 years, she's always told me, you have a book in you. You've got something there, just sit down and do it. And she actually was a big motivator for me to start a YouTube channel, because I'm camera shy. I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it. So that was kind of a big step for me. And she helped me this morning with editing issues. So I'm going to be able to go with my next YouTube broadcast knowing what to do, how to do it. So yeah, collaboration has been very important in my life. I mean, even when I was a professional person, we brainstorm and move forward. So yeah, collaboration is a big deal. And I've collaborated with folks on YouTube that are other homestead families and asked questions, and they've been very, very gracious in helping me with my journey moving forward.
Robyn, how has collaboration helped you with your business or the book or with your tax things? Is that something that you practice regularly?
I do practice collaborations regularly. Collaboration on this book has widened my scope of dealing with people and taking me out of my comfort zone, to be honest with you. I've never been one to be in front of the camera. I'm very kind of reserved, and I just kind of wanted to do something different. And I was actually brought into the project by one of my clients, Focus James, and she was like, "You ought to do this and you ought to do that." And so we collaborated on a couple of other things as well. I've been exposed to Clubhouse and other social media areas that I wouldn't normally deal with. And one of the first things I did for my business was to do a TikTok and send it out. And I increased my clientele by about 15 people just from a TikTok video. So I think collaborations are worth it. It opens up the door to more opportunities and more people.
Now, what I like about collaboration is oftentimes collaborations can, in addition to saving you money because you have other professionals that are willing to help you. I always say your light doesn't have to dim because another sister light shine. We shine brighter together. And when we can give freely of our talents and our gifts, even if it's your business, there's often other ways that you receive payment for it. I recently collaborated with someone, and because of that collaboration, I was able to obtain a paying client, all because I donated my time and was able to help them do something they needed. And when they were speaking to someone else and they mentioned about coaching, they said, "I have just a person for you." So I often say that collaboration is not something people should shy away from. People will say, well, nowadays everybody wants to get paid for everything. And there's nothing wrong with getting paid. We all are business women. We want to get paid. We want to make a decent living. However, collaboration doesn't always mean getting paid. Sometimes it means giving of yourself, your time, and even your talents, or even your products for free. And when you do that, what I found is that people will then often purchase that or let someone else know about it so that they can purchase your products. Have either of you come across that situation? We'll start with Robyn this time. Robyn, have you had that situation where you collaborated with someone and then you found that there was an opportunity for you to get a paid client because you freely gave your gift and talents?
Absolutely. I do, my business is all aspects. I do tax services, but I also do consulting, and I help write business plans. I help write grants. And I think that majority of the things that I do are collaborations. And just recently in January, I collaborated with a group of people and ended up getting about 5 tax clients out of it, working on a grant. So, and we're going to find out next month if we get the grant, but it was the fact that we got to work together. They learned what my gifts and talents were, and I learned what theirs were, and I shared them with other people.
Julie, how has your experience that? Have you, when you were doing, because in addition to what you do now, there was a time when you had Moonchild. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Moonchild.
Moonchild Candle and Body. I was a cold processed soap and soy candle person, and the pandemic kind of slowed me down to a screeching halt, and then we had some home issues where I couldn't access that soap room. But while I was rocking and rolling, I had a little sample soap, so I'd hand out little sample soaps, just to people on
Mm-hmm.
the street, or work was a good place to find people. But I'd give out little free samples, and they were like, "Well, that's wonderful. Do you have anything else?" And so I showed them my website, and ended up word of mouth. I was doing a booming business at the hospital, so that
Mm-hmm.
was, the free stuff brings you to the paid stuff, and it was something I enjoyed doing. It's probably something I'll get back into again, because I think if more people know how to do it, more people can do it themselves rather than having to go to the store, to buy their soap. And I know during the pandemic when we didn't really want to go out of the house, I had a stockpile of soap, so we never had to buy soap. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, that's one really big thing was the word of mouth, and the samples were just, it was great.
If you could say there's one thing you learned or your major takeaway from collaboration, what would that be? And before you answer, I'll tell you mine. When I began to collaborate with people, it really changed. I think I was a born collaborator because I've been doing it since I was little. That's just part of my personality. However, the thing that I found is I call it Zig Ziglar style. If you help people get what they want, you'll always get what you want. And so for me personally, I have an 80-20 rule. As far as my business, 80% of what I do is free, 20% is paid, but my 20% pays very well. And so because I've kept that motto, or yeah, that we call business style, it's been very lucrative to me because I find that oftentimes, even when I have my quote unquote free consultation calls or whatever, people will inevitably tell me, can't even say the word, they will often tell me that I just can't take this for free. I feel like I'm stealing from you. And they will put money in my Cash App. So, and I'm not mad about that. I really appreciate it when people see the value in what I do. So, could you talk a little bit around that, if you don't mind, about what your takeaways from collaboration have been and how it's changed maybe the way you do business, good, bad, or indifferent? Robyn, you want to start?
Sure. One thing I started when I first started doing taxes to get the word out, I would tell everyone, if you bring me 3 clients, your tax return is free, regardless if you get a refund or anything. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not the point of getting a refund, it's the purpose of me doing your taxes. The way I do them from a professional standpoint is to zero out your tax debt. And when we can do that, especially since this pandemic has changed the dynamics for a lot of people, it becomes easier. And I've gone from like 13 clients to over hundreds of clients in my world, and it's like it's becoming a full-time job. And I appreciate that because I always do a few tax returns for free because I remember where I came from, and the skills that I've learned along the way have benefited me. And I'm always talking with people about their taxes and talking about the things they could do to better their odds of not having to pay taxes, or talking to people with businesses to expand what they know as far as what their responsibilities are with paying their taxes, or at least having a tax plan in place so that you don't pay as much. But it is beneficial. The more people that you're in front of, you talk about something, especially things people are afraid about their taxes. They're scared that they have to pay and scared to go to jail for IRS, and don't realize that sometimes they're committing a crime when they don't file their taxes every year. And when you have multiple years of taxes, it's a lot, and it can become expensive because tax information changes every year as far as whatever Congress requires, and especially since the pandemic. But that's how I try to help people. And collaborations have helped me to expand and grow my practice and my knowledge base as well.
Thank you, Robyn. How about you, Julie?
Well, I look at it, excuse me, it's hay fever season at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way I look at it is almost karmic. It's like what you put out in the world, you're going to get back, and oftentimes 2 and 3 fold. So if I can step up and volunteer to help somebody, or share my knowledge, or work on my, or somebody's, I don't know, grammar or editing skills, etc., um, I get more back from that, just internally because I know that I've helped somebody, and I'm, obviously I'm not in it for the money right now because, we're living fairly comfortably. I mean, I'm not
Mhm.
going to turn my nose up at a little additional income. Of
Mhm.
course not. But I just find a lot of joy in helping other people. It just gives me the warm fuzzies. I'm that girl.
Okay. Well, if you hold standby, ladies, I want to remind everyone that my book, Soul Searching, Get on Board for Transformation Using the Tap In Method, is now available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback format. And I'm so excited to have Julie here with me because the first edition would have never come out had it not been for Julie. Julie was a major part of the editing and the way the book was put together. And then also, I still included Julie in my second edition of the book as well, because the first edition definitely would not have happened without Julie. She was also a beta reader to make sure that what I put in the book actually flowed and that it made sense. And she was a trusted person. So that's a collaboration right there that has meant a lot for me moving forward. Oftentimes, women won't ask for help. And so I want to know from you, ladies, and Julie, we're going to start with you. How hard is it for you to ask for help when you need it?
Honestly, it's not, man. I'm an open book. If I don't know something, I'm gonna be the first person to say I got no idea. Which is why I reached out to Brenda because I was really struggling with the editing software on my laptop, and she cleared something up. Or like, oh yeah, you could definitely upload that format. It's fine. And then she gave me some suggestions for some other things that I could look into as far as editing. So yeah, I'm not afraid to ask for help. It's not the first time. It's certainly not going to be the last.
And I just want to step back on that for a minute because I remember when we first met 20 years ago, you weren't always so open and wouldn't always ask for help. So, what shifted for you to make it be okay for you to ask for help now?
Probably, the biggest thing is I'm no longer a professional, and I don't feel like every choice and decision is being judged and evaluated, and my income is not going to be affected in any way, shape, or form by how I behave. As far as asking for help, and because back in the day, excuse me again.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, I was pretty ego driven. I won't lie. Brenda can attest to that. I mean, I was like a perfectionist
Yeah.
and I didn't want to ask for help because I felt like they're going to judge me if I ask for help, and therefore it's going to affect my job performance. So, yeah, now that I don't have to worry about being evaluated professionally, I can be free to be myself, and that has been probably one of the biggest benefits to being retired. And not having to be in such a position to where I'm judged on my performance and then I'm judged on how I'm handling my own employees. It's just been a big relief. So I can be open like that now, and it's such a relief. Y'all have no idea.
And I just want to put a plug in here right here. This woman was a perfectionist and she was typing 95 words a minute, was the grammar queen. I mean, people were always asking Julie to proof their stuff. So she had nothing to worry about, but she was very clear and very serious about what she did. She did everything in excellence. And I always said she had nothing to worry about, but perfectionist, she put the P in perfectionist. So it's exciting now. I tell you, I literally did the happy dance this morning, and she can tell you when I said, I was so excited, Julie. You asked me to help you because it was always the other way around. I may have been the boss, but I relied on Julie because I trusted the way she sees things. She's a creative. She's a brilliant woman in her own right. She's kind, has the biggest heart this side of the Rio Grande, and just is a kind of person that will give you the shirt off her back. And so I relied on her extensively when I was in my position at the hospital to make sure that I looked good at my job. Because at one point, I wouldn't even send an email out if Julie didn't proof it first, because that's how bad my grammar skills were. But Julie pushed me to learn for myself. She said, I can keep doing this, but it'd be better if you actually learn it. So I had to get a book and began to, because I didn't get that in high school that I grew up in. And now I'm very thankful because of women like Julie that sold into my life and said, you can do this, you're capable, learn it for yourself. And that way you don't always have to have someone to do it for you. With that said, Robyn, how is asking for help for you? Coach Nykia, we see you there. I wanted to bring you on, but I didn't see you on screen. So as soon as I see you on screen, I will bring you into the stream. But we do have another awesome woman that's going to come join us as soon as she's available. Robyn, what were your thoughts on asking for help as you go through your career?
Up until about a year ago, I would not ask for help. I realized my life changed. I bought a house, got my kids settled and everything like that. And it's like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. So finally, I just said, you know what? I think I need some therapy, maybe a life coach. And I got one. And I started putting down the cape and realizing it's okay. And I can't do everything. And I put measures in place to better my life and bring more balance. And work-life balance is very important. And I'm still working and struggling to kind of balance all the time. But I see now, looking back, a difference. I ask for help. I know people, and I've collaborated with very many people in the last few years to kind of get to another level to ask for help, know when to ask for help, and get the help I need in order to move forward.
That's good. Now, we're going to take the time here to talk about the project that you and I are working on. It's called the Daddy-Daughter Dynamic. And I know Julie can speak to this kind of thing because she has her own daddy-daughter dynamics. The book that we're working on is called Daddy-Daughter Dynamic, and the title may change, which we have been well aware of that. But right now, that's where we're at. 13 women put together a compilation, and we each told our stories on our journeys to the path to healing for forgiveness, self-awareness, and self-love, most importantly. Robyn, how has being able to tell your story about your daddy-daughter dynamic helped you?
This opportunity was awesome. It came at a right time, and the Power 13, as they're called, were awesome in collaborating and getting the information together, learning from our lives and how the differences impacted us all were interesting. And I think that I would like my story to impact people who will read my story and to learn and view a different perspective. Mine is a chronological order of things, as well as kind of like the healing process and the lens to go to filling a daddy void, because I had a daddy void. So, I mean, I think that many can relate. And in a time as this, when we're seeing that relationships, intermingling and relationships of families are different these days, it's still an important area that needs to be discussed.
Now, Julie, I know you to be an awesome writer, and you have a blog that you write different stories. Are there any stories about your daddy-daughter dynamic that maybe you have written in your blog that people can go back and look at later on, or anything you'd like to share with us about that?
I don't actually think that I have ever mentioned my parents in my blog. Actually,
Really?
my blog. It's about me, so it's all me, me, me.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, it was just experiences, at the hospital, and the
Mm-hmm.
time I got the speeding ticket in Johnston County, and just this,
Mm-hmm.
that, and the other thing, just the stuff that rattles around in this brain. But my dad and I, he lives on the West Coast. And it's his birthday today, actually. So I have to call him
Oh,
this
happy
evening.
birthday, Daddy!
Yeah, 82 and going strong. The man never slows down.
That's
But we were close when I was growing up. He always, now I don't remember it, but because I only remember really the good things. My mom says we used to fight like cats and dogs, my dad and I, because she said we're so much alike. And it's like I will slip up, and I do not do it in front of my mom because she's just real sensitive to foul language. But my
mm-hmm.
dad and I can cuss back and forth like champions. I mean, we sound like a couple of sailors, but no, I'm still very close with him. We talk fairly regularly. In fact, he was the one that taught me how to plant garlic. So I'm going to be pulling my first crop of garlic come June. So
Mm-hmm.
he's recommended things for our tomato sauce, because I don't like to just blanch and then peel tomatoes for sauce. He told me about a contraption that will do the separating for you. It'll take the
Mm-hmm.
pulp and put it over here, and the seeds will go with the skins. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, Julie's getting one of those. So I'll probably be product reviewing that on my blog at some point, because we're going to have a lot of tomatoes this season. But yeah, I mean, I called my dad for advice, and we had a situation in our family on my mom's side that directly affected me, and I didn't know what to do, couldn't figure out how to handle it. Called him, and he gave me a very common sense approach to what the situation was. Followed it to the letter. Everything worked out great. So yeah, my dad's my hero. I'm not gonna lie.
That's awesome. We're gonna bring Coach Nykia into the stream now. I see that she's available on here. Coach Nykia, how are you? You're on mute.
Hi everyone, I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Ladies, I want y'all to meet another one of my favorite people here on the planet. She is a millennial and an amazing owner. And I want you to tell them, Coach Nykia, about your two businesses that you have and what you do, and then we'll bring you into the conversation.
Absolutely. Well, I am the founder of Chosen One Agency, LLC. So we are a done-for-you digital marketing agency. We specialize in content creation, SEO, and we also have an amazing software for those of you who do not like to post to social media every day, but our software actually automatically posts to all your platforms for you. So CC, the software, is our software that we love to promote within inside the agency that helps you to be able to stay on track with your social media. And then I am also the founder of Chosen One Academy. It is a digital marketing academy, where I help individuals to build their brands all over. So I've been able to work with individuals here in the States and also globally out into Colombia as well. So I'm excited about continuing to expand my brand, and also being a part of being able to connect here with Miss Brenda, the solutionist, and also you ladies today.
I wanted you to come on today because I asked collaborators to come on. Coach Nykia is someone who also has collaborated with me and helped me go to the next level. And by having her eyes on the different things that I do, and just having her professional view and her encouragement to say that what I was doing, I was on the right track, really helped me. It also allowed me to figure out what I need to do so that I can budget, that when I get to a point that I'm making enough money, I can hire her to do the stuff that I'm currently doing, because that's another part of collaboration. You can kind of get an idea for what people do, how much it may cost you, and you can put in your budget so that when you get to a place of prosperity, you can then hire those people, and you don't have to seek out people that you don't know, because there is strength in collaboration. There's strength in knowing what people are able to do. And when somebody sows into your life and gives you their time for free, how dare you then go and hire somebody else? And that's going to bring me to something I want to talk about: collaboration. A story that I know that Coach has heard it, because I think I told her about it once before. When I had my sewing business, and Julie's been knowing me long enough, I probably told her so many times she's just going to roll her eyes. But when I had my sewing business, someone asked me to put a jacket in their child's clothes. And I said, no problem. I was going to charge them $6. That was the cost for the zipper. It was a separating zipper, 27 inches down the front. And they were upset that I was going to charge them $6 for the zipper. So they chose to take their coat to the cleaners, because they weren't going to pay me $6 to put in that zipper. Well, the cleaners charged them $27 plus the $6 for the zipper, and they happily paid it. So they came back and said, they told me that they went there. I said, well, how much did they pay? She said, well, the $6 plus $27 to put it in. I said, so let me get this straight. You know me, and you know the work I do, and you chose to go to the cleaners and pay $27 more than you would have paid me $6. But you're my friend. You shouldn't have charged me anything. But sewing is my business. You don't go to your doctor and ask them to take your appendix out for free. Why would you then come to me if it was not offered? And it wasn't that. Here's the thing, ladies. Had I had a separating zipper at the house, I wouldn't have charged her anything. I would have just put it in the coat because I already had it. But the only reason I was charging $6 because I didn't have it, and I asked her to go pick it up. I bring that to you because, again, it's about the psychology of how people do things. Oftentimes, people won't see the value in what we do as businesswomen if they, quote unquote, know you. So they will seek other people. So I'm on a mission to change and get people to understand that when you collaborate, do masterminds or brainstorm with people and you know what their abilities are, hire the people you know and trust that they are going to give you the service that they're known for. And I don't expect discounts all the time when I work with people. I'm blessed that oftentimes they do give me a discount because they know me, but it's not expected. I call that a nice to do. I personally usually, if I know somebody, I will give them a discount of some type, but not always. It depends. And I think it's important when we are going into collaborating is also knowing your limits. So with that said, I want to talk about, has there been a time when you did freely give of your gifts and stuff, but you had to take a pause and go, wait a minute, you using me? You know what I'm saying? It's not that you didn't want to help, but it got to a point where the person was crossing lines from I'm collaborating to they're always calling you to get support when that's your business. And it should have been a now, it should have got to a point where it was paid. And when you brought that to them, they now had a problem with it. Because that also happened to me recently. I have one person in particular that would always call, and here's a pet peeve I have: can I pick your brain? That's a red flag for me. And for a while, I didn't have a problem with it, but I started noticing on a regular basis, this person was calling and they were asking for support. And then one day I said something about it to myself, not even to the person. That very next day, they called to tell me how they had just paid some coach $5,000 for coaching. And they were so excited about what this person was doing. A week later, they called me very upset because the person said, the person doesn't even do as much for me as you do for me. And they wanted to pick my brain again. And I was like, you need to schedule an appointment. They have yet to do so because they were incensed that now I would want to charge them for what, even though, and I would say, even though they got a $300,000 contract based on the stuff that I told them after they had paid this other person $5,000, not before. You see what I'm saying? So talk about that, if you will. And we're going to start with Robyn and work our way back to Coach Nykia. Have you had any of those situations?
Well, actually, I have. I have had several customers, former customers, and people who have come back to return as customers to pick my brain, so to speak, and ask me questions about their taxes. I had one lady a couple of years ago. She's like, "Well, for what I'm gonna pay you, I could do it on free tax." Yes, but what I do as far as your taxes, you're not gonna get on free tax or TurboTax or one of those free tax entities. And, she's like, well, what if I have this? I said, well, consultation start at 150 and we can go from there. And it'll be deducted from me doing your taxes. And if you have a business, it's a little bit more, but it's worthwhile because I'm doing the work. And I've also had people come with me, well, I only got this amount of money in a refund. And I do amendments. It's not a problem. It costs that much for an amendment. It depends on your situation. So there's a rolling scale of how much I will charge. I have had people say, well, I don't want to pay that and go somewhere else and pay twice what I would charge them. And then come back to me the next year. And I want to see what they've done. I'm required, because there's information I need from your prior tax year in order to put on your tax return in order to verify with IRS. So I do understand that, but people get upset, but they don't know, and they don't know what they don't know. And that's why they go through these cycles. I try to inform people and educate my people so they'll understand. Because, every happy client is a free billboard walking around telling everybody else what I did for them. And I'll land with that.
All right. How about you, Julie?
I don't recall anybody ever coming to me for advice and then going somewhere else. I do recall when I was doing photography, when I was gearing up to become a paid professional, I did a lot of test portraits, free of charge. Just, can I borrow your face or your child's face or you and your child's faces? And they were, yes, photograph me. It would be great. And then when I actually went into business, I was doing a DBA, doing business as I had an actual physical studio that I opened and started taking on paying clients. And one of the folks that had been in my, practice group wanted another set of portraits of their family. And I even discounted the rate. I gave them a 10% discount off my going rates for the package that they wanted. And the woman had the audacity to go online and bash me because I overcharged her for her photographs. And I was just like, you're kidding, right? So at the time I had a prepaid legal account, and I had them send her a cease and desist letter, and I have not spoken to her since. So, but that's, that's the only situation that comes to mind when that topic came up. So, yeah, that's mine.
How about you, Coach? You're on mute. Okay, there
I
you go.
definitely have to agree with Julie. I definitely have prepaid legal to help me out in situations like this. It's definitely a great program to have when you have a business. But what I will say is I had a situation, and I still recently had dealt with it because it had went on for so long, and I realized a lot about myself. Is it was a family member, and I felt like, well, if I stop, then she's gonna think I'm better, or think that I'm trying to be funny because I've grown over the years. And so, it's just always was calling and calling and picking my brain without saying the words picking my brain. But I was starting to notice that as well. And so what I have been able to do to stop a lot of individuals from doing that is I don't answer the phone most of the time. And I also tell them that they have to book through a link. So I have a link, and that helps me because I'm a busy person. So I noticed what happens is I would squeeze people in, and then I would miss something else. So our time is so valuable. And also what helped me is I had hired a coach. And one thing is, I realized I paid $12,000 to hire a coach. Then why can't someone do the same for me? And if we're friends, if you value me, you should want me to succeed, and you should want to pay for my time because you love me and you want to say, hey, this is someone that I value. But when he told me to go look up the Latin definition of nice, did you know that the word nice means unaware, ignorant? So I was unaware and ignorant to the fact that I am a great coach. I'm a great business owner. I give great advice. And so if we're always nice in business, we're going to not be in business. So business is not for you to be nice. I can't go up to Chick-fil-A and say, hey, can y'all be nice today and give me cream and cherry? So I realized that that's how business works. It's a transaction, correct? So at the end of the day, when our friends or family or whoever knows us are looking at something that we're doing for them, they shouldn't look at it as you're a friend or a family. They should look at it as a transaction when it's a business deal. So that's how I take it. And I've been able to do better. And also hiring a coach has helped me to set my prices to where people don't even say, oh God, no. Like, if you want my coaching, you've gotta pay. And that has helped to separate from people who just want to pick my brain and people who just pretty much want to just get something for free. So
that's good. I want to ask each of you, because I don't want to end on a negative note. I really want to do positive, because collaboration to me is all about positivity. That is our ability to realize that we are not alone. It also helps us to release some of the pressure off of the things that we may need to accomplish, because there is strength in numbers. I wrote down some R's here. It helps us reinvent ways of doing things. It can change the way we respond to what it is we believe we need to do. And I'm trying to read my last little note here, because I tried to make sure I put them all down. And then it also will help us to resurrect maybe some thoughts that we have, because when you bounce your ideals off of other people, it can help you think about, well, I like, for me right now, I'm working on the media training. And it wasn't until I talked to someone that I thought, oh, this is even possible. And Robyn was one of the people that was part of the group that I did media training with. And I'm so excited that I was able to collaborate and do things with them, so that it caused me to have another source of income. Multiple streams of income is real important. And by doing those things and collaborating with other women to help me do that, it's really helping me level up and grow my business. Because I tell you, Coach Nykia is on the top of my wish list for things that I want when the finances are consistent. Because I think it's important to hire coaches. I think that they are valuable, and also to hire the right people because I want my brand to look a certain way. I feel like I've done good on my own, but I know she can take me to the next level. So having those kind of things on there. Julie worked with me for a while, helping me do other people's books and do different things. And I was able to pay Julie when I worked with Julie. But you know what I had to come to the understand, I told Julie, I said, Julie, I thank you that you're working for me for this amount, but you are worth so much more. You know, she was willing to, because she knew I was starting to just do a minimum pay for me to do this. But she has the skill level. And when we did some research, she can really charge people at 95 words a minute typing with the editing skills and things that she has, if that's what she wanted to do. But then Julie pivoted because she realized she wanted to do the homestead and things of that nature. So she now has her own YouTube channel and is developing her business. And I'm so excited to see her growing. Robyn, with her tax business, has already been in business. It's tax season now. She's collaborating on the daddy-daughter dynamic with 13 other women. So everybody has projects that they're working on. With that in mind, ladies, so that we can wrap this up today on collaboration, I'd like you to each give me, and we're going to start Robyn and work our way around, what one piece of advice with what you know now would you give to a woman that was ready to branch out and start collaborating? And just for the purpose of Coach Nykia, we talked about how hard it was to ask for help and different things like that prior to you coming on. So with all of that in mind, Robyn, you want to tell us, what advice would you give a young lady that was saying, I'm afraid to collaborate because maybe she's not used to working with other women, and now she's hearing us talk about the value of collaborating and how successful that can be? What advice would you give them before they get into that type of a situation?
Sorry, I was muted. I would give any young entrepreneur the advice to keep trying, learn your market, as well as work with others who've done this before. There's enough of the pie to go around with everyone. So if we just take the time and collaborate, we don't have to compete. We just have to collaborate. We're all going to get a piece. So just be smart about it. And if the collaboration doesn't work with one set of people, go to another set. And it's just a matter of assessing and discerning. So that's all I have to say.
And before we go to Julie, Robyn, how would people get in touch with you? I also want to put that in the description, which I will after. If you will email me your information, I'll make sure I get that in there so people can reach out to you. I know you have an Instagram.
Sure, I am Robyn Haynes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I am Robyn Haynes. I am All Aspects Tax Services and All Aspects Consulting. We allow for our stuff to go on social media through Instagram, and I'm at Roaduchoose, ROADUCHOOSE, and hit me up. I'm on TikTok as well as Facebook, All Aspects Tax Service.
All right. Thank you, Robyn. And Julie, what advice would you give to a young woman that's willing to collaborate? And please, when you're done with that part, tell us how we can get in touch with you and what you're working on.
Okay. I guess the first thing I would tell someone that's new to this is don't be afraid to ask for help, number one. I find that when I collaborate with others, and generally I kind of always land in a group that is like-minded with similar goals. And I find that that motivates me to go another step forward, because this whole YouTube channel thing, this is all new to me, just like the homesteading thing is only about a year old for me. And yeah, just collaboration is a good thing. It's helpful, it's motivating, it's uplifting, it's, you know, a little confirmation that you're going in the right direction. Because I'm not going to lie, had Brenda not put the bug in my ear when we were working together all those years ago, you've got something in you, you've got the creativity, go. And it's taken some years, because I mean, we've known each other for 20 some years, and it's just now there's a fire under my feet, and I feel like now is the time for me to just jump in, just do it, get over the camera shy. If I struggle or I stumble, it is what it is. I'm human, and I can also take, you know, criticism, you know, as well. I didn't used to be able to do that, but I would not be where I am without collaborating in some way, shape, or form. So I'm on YouTube. barely. My channel name is Homesteading with Jules, and it's 3 different words, separate. And then I just created an Instagram account today, and that is Jules.suburban homesteading. And I got a couple pictures up, but I'll be adding more. I didn't even think about Instagram. I haven't used it in so long. And
Mhm.
I'm not around Facebook an awful lot, and I may have to revisit that because I've got a lot of contacts on there, and some of them I don't necessarily want them to know my business, so I may have to call the friends list, you know. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's it for me.
Well, before we go to Coach Julie, we're going to talk about that because the best way to eliminate people you don't want on Facebook is to create groups. So I'll talk to you about that. And maybe you forgot because you set me up with that when you did So Real all those years ago. And
Oh,
that's how
that's
I kept
right.
people that didn't want to, that I didn't want to know what I was doing out so that I could be specific about who I target, who got the information, and who didn't. So we'll collaborate and get that together.
Sounds good. It's been so I don't Facebook that much, so it's been a long
I
time. I had
know.
my candle business on there. I had my photography business on there. I'd
Mhm.
forgotten all about how to do
It's
that.
been years, but yeah, Julie was the one who first set me up with my first page on Facebook all those years ago when I had my sewing business, which I no longer have now, but it was pretty good back then. Coach Nykia, what advice would you give to a young entrepreneur? And then tell us what you do and how people can reach you.
Well, the advice I would give is understanding that success is better in numbers. You can't do everything alone. And I would say find your weakness. Find people who are strong where you're weak. It will help you to eliminate your insecurities. It'll help you to be able to not try to learn something that you don't need to learn, but you can find someone, collaborate with someone who can already do that. It does speed up the success. And then I have defined my 3 core values in life. And in my business, and I connect with those who align and share those same values. So that's why me and you, Miss Brenda, we can definitely align and connect, is because we share similar values. And I am not afraid to connect with women who are stronger than me. Be okay with women who may be further along than you. You know why? You don't want to be the one that's always giving the advice. You want to be someone
Right.
in the circle who's getting advice from people who've already been where you're trying to go. And that way you will be able to get ahead a lot faster. So those are my tips. You can find me at coachnykia.com. You can find me at chosen1agency.com, coach chosen1academy.com. And my email also is coachnykia at chosen1agency.com if you're looking specifically to connect with me. But I am on Instagram as Coach Nykia. Everything is all the same everywhere you go. So if you type me in Google, you'll find me somewhere. But I am glad to be here, and I'm so glad that I was able to be here for the show. And hopefully, someone here listening was able to get some of this advice and take it and use it and go ahead out there and collaborate and have much success. Thank you again, Brenda.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for coming on. You know, the best part about doing what I do is I get connected with some of the most amazing women on the planet. And you are 3 of some of the amazing women that I've had the blessing of being able to be connected with over the past couple of years since I started my YouTube channel and started my show, Talk to Me. I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to come collaborate on today's show when my featured guest was unable to come. But that's another advantage to having strong collaborations, because when you have strong collaborations, people will show up and support you in your time of need. So I feel very blessed that each of you took time out of your busy day to come here and show support and collaborate on Talk to Me today when we're talking about the success of collaborating. Coach Nykia, I wish you great success and many blessings on your upcoming miracle that's about to land in 3 weeks. And I won't say what it is unless you want to tell everybody yourself. I'm so
I'm actually welcoming a baby girl, so I'm excited about that. And I hope that I can connect with everyone before April 1st, because I am going to have to go out on April 1st for a little bit, but I will return.
Yes, you will. And with a beautiful bundle of joy. And I'm so excited for you and all your blessings that have been coming up into this point. And they're going to be once she arrives, she's coming into a beautiful, loving family. And I'm so excited for the little soul that is about to grace our presence. Julie, I thank you for taking time and wish you much success on your YouTube channel, your homesteading. Everything you touch always prospers. So there is no doubt that it's going to be amazing. And for you, Robyn, I thank you. And I pray that you have more work than the law allows during this tax season and that you are able to do what you want to do. And I also want to thank you for representing the Power 13 here with me for the daddy-daughter dynamic. That book will be coming soon. I want you guys to keep your ears and eyes open because there are going to be interviews with more of the Power 13. And we're going to specifically talk about the daddy-daughter dynamics in an upcoming show where I have more of the ladies talking about their stories, their journeys, and their paths to healing. And I thank you all for tuning in here to talk to me with you today. As always, I'd like to remind each and every one of you that the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. So I pray and I beg you, choose wisely because life is entirely too short to live in the negative. Be blessed, everybody.